Today's episode is produced by Flash Media Studios. And you guys, today we are talking to Natalie and Paige from the Murder Diaries, which is a true crime podcast. And, you know, we thought we were true crime experts today, and we go there.
Yeah, we talk about the Rob Reiner case, which is everywhere right now, and what we think we know about it and our opinions. And then we couldn't help ourselves but go back in time, even to John Bonet, and talk about some of our favorite cases to get their takes, since they are the true crime experts.
It's a really fun one, you guys. Give it a listen.
And we may actually do a little series of true crime. I don't know. But without further ado, here is the Murder Diaries.
We are not true crime experts. This is not a true crime podcast, but there is some things or something about true crime that is so interesting, so scary, quite frankly, but like people can't stop talking about true crime, and it's like covers the news, like it's all over socials and everything. So we want to talk about one case right now that is everywhere. Very scary. I will say, like, let me just preface, I didn't sleep for a couple days when this came out because I was so
Jarred.
Yeah, just like worked up over the situation. Sometimes I think it depends on the case, but it feels closer to home for whatever reason. You feel connected in a different way. But let's start with the Rob and Nicole, right?
Michelle.
Yeah.
And
Rob
Nicole.
and Michelle Reiner.
That's great.
Again,
I was like, wait, the name, dang.
No,
and like,
yes.
that's the crazy thing with true crime. Honestly, I mean, you're so right. First of all, nobody ever stops talking about it. I get cornered at like family parties, like, oh my gosh, Paige, we got to talk about like this case, or like, what about this episode that you did? And like, they just like, they want the feedback.
It's
they
the
want to talk
car
about
crash that you see going, and you're like, I don't want to look, but you can't help but rubberneck.
it. Right. And
Yeah.
then on the
And
other
then when it's a
end,
celebrity, it's like even more.
Yes.
I need to know, because now it's pop culture.
oh, and he's so beloved with a lot of people, with a lot of money and years of relationship with him that are mourning him. Like, this is, I mean, he was
he's a very well respected.
That's why
Yes.
it makes even more headlines for being such a public facing figure. He's going to grab attention and headlines regardless, but then something tragic like this happens. And it's a reminder that it doesn't matter who you are. Something like this can happen to you. And I think that's part of why true crime has the world in a chokehold, is because you never know if it's going to be you. You never know if it's going to be a loved one. You never know if it's going to be someone in your community.
It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, it doesn't
Oh
discriminate.
God! Well, this has turned dark very fast. I don't want it to be me.
world of
No, I don't want it to be my
crime.
family. No, I don't want it to love one.
Nobody ever does, but it's
Yeah.
not something that you necessarily have control over.
It's kind of like reality TV. Like, you want to watch it, but like you don't want it close to you.
Yeah. And that's why people like true crime, you're just kind of like, wait, what happened? Okay, I just want to make sure. So all my eyes are open. I know what's going on, what could possibly happen in the world. But then you can't, it's like you can't turn away, and you can't stop. And then once you get, you know, a toe deep in a case, it's like, oh, well, now I need to know all the facts. Now I need to know all the facts so I can make my opinion. And when are we going to court?
Yeah, well, I feel like some of the cases,
going to make sure of that.
Some of the cases, and I will like name one for you and one for me, like, and I don't know if it's really true crime. I guess it kind of is, but like the Diddy case for her, she was like setting her time every day to like calendar block and like read court docs. She was on it. She thought she was a juror. I was like more into the Karen Reed, but I'm like, okay, like I can't. And I told her, I was like, I can't invest more time because like I'm still a mom and we have a podcast of our own. Like we cannot, you have to be selective of what ones you dive into. But on this topic, I do think what's interesting is like it plays into so much more of just like true crime. Like it goes into like mental illness, which goes into a completely other aspect of where we are in our world of like, true mental illness is our problem with so many different things, whether you talk about gun violence, whether you talk about suicide, there's so many different things. But when you have to look at this and like unravel this, you killed your parents.
Yeah.
You stabbed your parents multiple times.
Right. Schizophrenia aside. That's what he was being treated for, was schizophrenia.
Is that like diagnosed like schizophrenia?
I believe it was diagnosed. Like, I don't know.
But is that like after, like, is that like, what's my favorite attorney, Anderson? What's his name? What's the attorney for
Alan Jackson?
Alan Jackson, not Anderson. Is that what Alan Jackson's saying now?
No, I think it came
was
out
before.
after that he
He's
been
diagnosed.
Yeah, well,
and
he's
has been
struggling for years with substance use abuse.
Yeah, so let's go back to the basics of like for people who don't know about the Reiner
Unwrap
case.
this.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's just break it down. What's going on?
Mid-December, I think the 14th or the 17th, Reiner, who is
Their daughter.
Rob and Michelle's youngest child, their only daughter, was called. The masseuse contacted her and let her know that her parents missed their appointment.
She showed up to their house in Burbank and
with her roommate in tow. And it was one of those things where she didn't know her mom was at home. She still didn't, but she went into the room and found,
Her dad.
The scene.
yeah.
And I saw online, I don't know all the specific details, but she ended up calling Billy Crystal because he's very close friends with her parents. She trusts him. It's a family friend. And he lives down next door, very, very close. So he got to the scene prior to the police getting there. And I don't think he went to say his goodbyes. I think he went to comfort his good friend's child.
Right.
And then police got there and I believe the mom was pronounced dead, not on scene, but she didn't make it to the hospital or something.
When they found him first.
Yeah.
But then I think 1 minute later, it's documented that then they found Michelle. And both of them, it was very clearly stab wounds. It was thought to be homicide right away.
I think it was listed as sharp force trauma. So.
Yes. I know.
Yeah.
Do we know where in the house they were found?
I think the bedroom.
I think their bedroom.
I believe the bedroom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he got them when they were in their most vulnerable state.
Right.
Not only in their home, but in their bed with their eyes closed. And this is their son. So you don't think that
Somebody
your
coming in the
child coming in your room is going to hurt you. And as a new mom, it takes you, at least I'm a new mom. And I think oh my God, as I'm nursing my baby, Michelle probably nursed, her son and cared for him, changed his diaper,
Celebrated his birth.
him,
Yeah, loved him,
and
reared him.
was so excited to have him.
You're 6 months in. You got a long way to go.
But
Can you imagine?
But you know what I mean? This is their child that they loved and adored and did everything they could because he was very troubled growing up.
Yeah.
He
was. So I think
dark.
that's what starts to grab attention from people, right? Is okay, these two beloved people were murdered. Very quickly, we find out it's by their son. Everyone's well, that doesn't make sense. Kids don't kill their parents. Then more details start to come out, right? And so, I mean, you guys can probably correct me, but the son has struggled with substance abuse for years and years and years. And Rob has been very open about that and the way he's tried to parent him through the struggles.
I mean, I think both Nick and Rob, as a father-son duo, have been very open about the struggles because they even did a film together where it was written and by Nick, directed by Rob. They collaborated on it about their experience with his issues,
His mental health issues,
and substance use, and they did a whole press tour talking about it, and their social media people are pulling clips from back then. And it does look like a very fraught relationship between the two of them. You can tell, even if they were working together, things weren't so copacetic. You know what I mean?
But you would think that if you're creating that you've got to be some sort of in your healing journey.
At the time,
why else put a microscope
at the time
on it?
He was, but I think they both spoke. I watched a bunch of the clips, and they both spoke about how hard it was for them to do the film because they wanted to be. It was obviously, a mirror of their life, but they didn't want it to be so reflective of their life. And that to me felt like maybe they aren't so secure in their healing process. Maybe they're not as far. Yeah.
Well,
because
the other interesting thing about whatever was going on in this home is that there were 2 calls for welfare checks on this house, I think in 2019. So it's kind of interesting that they both happened in the same year, if I am not mistaken. And nobody ever documented exactly who or what, not even using the word son, father, or who. We have no idea who was being checked on. My wonder is was Nick alone, or was another one of the children worried because they couldn't get a hold of somebody in the home and they were worried about Nick and being explosive or anything like that. We really
was there warning signs?
Oh,
probably.
I would say yes, because he talks about destroying. He lived in the guest house at his parents' home, and in some of those interviews for the press tour, he talked about destroying the TV, just beating it and shattering it and like just being so destructive with physical items. But when you're destructive with physical items,
You have anger and rage.
yeah, there's something boiling in there. And are you looking for something to take it out on that eventually turns to a person?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, I think for me, where it started to get really, I mean, the whole thing is heartbreaking. But as I went through, like I said, if I'm jumping into a case, like I'm jumping into a case and I was on, the sister's social media, the brother's social media, like they were a very close family and like close as of recent. Like her brother is in photos on social with her not that long ago. Like it's not like they had a really strained relationship where she's like, oh, it's definitely was my brother. Yeah. Like he's had problems forever. No, like they were seems like in a loving, healing place. So I can't imagine the conflicting feelings for the siblings who are trying to understand the loss of their parents and also understand that their brother likely did this.
Yeah, that's something that I wonder how
Allegedly.
they're going to unravel as they, go through their healing journey. Because like you said, you love your brother, but you also love your parents. And he did something that you can't take back.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you overcome that?
It makes me wonder what that's like for him as well, in terms of that there are mental health struggles. And like,
does he regret it?
Maybe not yet, but right, like in the future, like what's that going to be like? It doesn't mean I feel bad for him. I mean, you murdered your parents, but it just makes me wonder too. Cause like if there was moments where they got to a point where they were able to make a feature film together talking about this, and maybe he can get there again and be at a healthier point. He's done that before. So like if that does happen, what is that going to look like? I don't know, because I kind of feel like we're going to be in prison, but there's also some money there. So we know that sometimes money doesn't do prison. I don't know.
I wonder if he's going to end up in a mental facility instead.
Mm.
I mean, that might be an option.
For sure.
Especially with his history and the money behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or can they plead insanity, right? If this was episodic of some sort, because he was already acting out this was the same night at Conan's, or was it the day before?
Well, yeah, it was the night before, which
December
is
13th.
really what makes this crossover into pop culture, right? Because now we have even more celebrities involved in that. So you guys take this part.
So there's a Christmas party.
Yes. Hosted by Conan O'Brien.
And the family's there, including Nick. I don't know about the other children. I don't know if Jake and Romy were there or not, but
it wasn't clear from what I saw, but I mean, it doesn't really matter in terms of like what happened, because
also a thing with true crime though, where you're like, does those small details, sometimes they're not there, or it's in like one maybe article, or it's just really hard to verify these things.
Yeah. Right.
But regardless, those three were there. Michelle, Rob,
and
Nick.
Yes.
And he's acting out. He's explosive.
He apparently is going around asking people at the party, are you famous? Are you famous?
Yeah, like asking their first and last name. Are you famous? And wearing a hoodie, right?
Yeah. And when you're in that kind of crowd and there's someone that maybe you don't know and they're asking that, it's like not appropriate.
No.
And I'm sure he was giving off some sort of energy, because even if you mentioned that he's in his siblings' photos on Instagram, when those photos are posted online, you can pick instantly
the one that doesn't have it all together.
Yes, it's very obvious. And so I wonder if the people attending the party felt that, and then he's asking them and getting in their space awkward questions. And apparently,
and like a lot of those people probably knew who he was prior.
I mean, probably. I mean, they at least know his father.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, who did you bring to this party? And like, or like maybe they felt like, is he on something? I don't know.
Or does he need to be on something?
Yeah.
Especially if they knew his history, if they were able to recognize who it was. But also, like, I didn't know what he looked like at all. Like, I know Rob Reiner, but I had no idea what, any of the kids looked like. I just hadn't dived that deep. I mean, I like Rob Reiner as a director. Princess Bride, Stand By Me is one of my top favorite movies of all time. And so, maybe some of those people that were there didn't even know who that was. And he's just like asking, like, are you famous?
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird.
It is weird. No, it's very weird. And I feel like for me, what makes me wonder is I read in a few articles that Rob was upset
Yeah. Well,
with Nick that night
Yep.
for acting the way that he did, or that they got in some
Yeah,
sort
imagine
of
that
fight.
car ride home. Maybe there was something said.
not even the car ride. They
I think there.
got in an argument
Conan's.
very
They
publicly. And I believe Rob and Michelle left prior to Nick leaving, or some. That's at least
Ooh,
what I was able to
Something
gather.
along those lines, which makes me wonder if they were wondering if he was back on substances.
Sure.
Because
When you say substances, what was he on?
I think he was on some pretty hard drugs.
Hard drugs. Got it. Okay. So mental health, schizophrenia, and then you're on hard drugs.
And then
very hard
coupled
drugs.
with all of that, it doesn't make
coupled
a
with
pretty
your
picture.
parents who have a ton of money. I
Mhm.
didn't get into the details of
fame.
the way that he parented him, but I know that they forced him into treatment, right? Because that was
Yes.
part of what the movie's about.
I believe he went to treatment a lot of times, and it's
Yeah,
not
like
just a
over
handful.
10
Yes.
times.
And at that point, it makes you wonder: was there some enabling happening
Mhm.
in the parenting? I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point of my parenting. You don't know how you're going to react and
Right.
help your child until you get to a point like that.
Right.
But it does sound like it was a years-long battle for them of trying to get him sober and trying to get him into a better mental health space.
Right. And that's in no way victim blaming,
No.
right? Because I don't
No.
think they would have ever predicted that it would have escalated to murder. Maybe even the fight at Conan's, honestly. Like they kind of knew,
But
hey,
they
we have
probably
this
wouldn't
kid
have
who needs
brought
help.
him
But
if they thought he was going to act like
Exactly.
that, right?
Of course.
you would have to think so. Unless they just were like, we don't want to leave him alone. He's got to come with us. We just don't, those details just aren't.
and we'll never
Fair.
know because, the two people
I
that
know,
can speak
so-
on it are
right, who could,
Yeah.
are no longer here. Okay, I don't know if you guys know the answers to this. I'm just asking you because you're true crime experts.
We'll try.
So when I saw that Alan Jackson was his defense attorney,
Mm-hmm.
is there a phone call? Like, was Nick able to call him from prison? Is Alan taking on this case?
Or is Alan like,
because
hey, I'm raising my hand.
I'm raising my hand doing this pro
I
bono
have
because
questions.
I'm going to be on the cover of every single.
I mean, I'm sure that is part of the play, right? Like for him as the attorney is like, this is a huge case.
I mean,
This-
before he was ever questioned, he would have had that right to
An attorney.
Alan.
Hire an attorney.
But an attorney, but
Well,
that
but
attorney?
Yeah, that attorney.
Right.
And like,
Yeah, like-
what money does he have?
Well, the estate.
Right. Well, all
But
that's
is it
but
he
so is
written
Alan-
out after you?
I mean-
I'm sure there's like a stipulation
The
if you
estate
kill
or
the
estate?
parents.
The estate. Yeah. Like,
There's-
what if
I don't-
they
I don't- I don't think there's something in the will that's like, if you murder me, you're not going to get your money.
right.
You don't think so? I
That's
don't
a
know.
really
I
good
don't know if
if or like if they
I am not
some
a
sort of
trust
behavior.
attorney, but I would imagine that most trust attorneys don't think to put that in.
No, that's
I'm
a really
assuming
good
maybe
point.
not like
That's a really great
murder,
point.
but like maybe if the kid, like if my son ends up in a insane asylum, he is not guaranteed his millions of dollars.
Maybe knowing his history, they could have put something like that. Some
Yeah.
contingency.
Like,
Like there should
on
be
the
some like
trust.
sort of a conservatorship, like the other siblings need to make
Yeah,
sure
like,
that
I'm
he's fit
sure
to
they were,
receive his
like,
inheritance.
I'm-
Like,
Yeah, and they
those
were
are-
obviously worried about him with his substance abuse history. I can't imagine that they didn't go into their trust attorney and say, "Hey, he's not going
Well,
home."
they also brought
with
him to
millions.
Conan O'Brien's holiday party. so-
See, I think that's more along what you were saying of like they didn't want to leave him at home
Mhm.
alone because I think they already noticed that he was getting back into a substance train. So I think they thought,
Yeah.
let's
he's
just
better
bring
bringing
him.
him.
Yes, and let's we're still his parents. We can kind of
Observe.
observe and we know where we can see. I mean, it's like the same thing I say. I'm like, at least
Well,
my kids are under my roof
they
right
want
now.
it to babysit him. Is
Yes.
that what that's the
That's what
vibe
I,
you're getting?
that's
We're
my
wondering. Yeah.
opinion is that I think they were noticing that something was going on and they thought, oh, well, let's better to, take him and let's try. I also think based on what those old social clips that came out from when they were promoting the movie, that I think he learned a lot from forcing him into rehab and said that that made their relationship even more strained. So instead, I think maybe he was just trying to support him through this instead and see if maybe
Another approach rather than
another approach.
Okay, back to your Alan Jackson. I do find this interesting because, like, if I were that attorney, like, it's one thing defending his last Karen Reed. Like, that was, in my opinion, like a smart decision as an attorney.
But she paid him, right?
I don't know. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure she did. But with this case, like, it's pretty obvious. It's not like he's like it's obvious it was him.
Mhm. Right.
But so you're just defending schizophrenia and mental health. Like, But I would imagine like the population in the world is going to side on the parents of like, he needs to go away for a long time and forever, right?
Yeah.
I think that Alan Jackson is like always riding in on the horse to like save the day and be that attorney that speaks for the underdog. Like maybe he is the underdog, but like, where are we playing with this mental health?
That's why I feel like he knew who to call, right? So he's got the right to an attorney. He's got to get an attorney. I think maybe he kind of knew like, hey, that's who I'm going to get, or somebody helped him with that.
I imagine somebody helped him, because how can he say, mental incompetence?
Well,
if he knows to call someone.
I think that the goal is also potentially could be, if it's not going to be like insanity, perhaps, I am no attorney, but perhaps the goal is going to be something of trying to prove that it's not premeditated.
In heat of the moment.
Yeah. I mean, which isn't going to help you much.
Like heat of the moment rather than because you're.
Yeah, that's a higher sentence.
If it's like premeditated.
Right.
First degree.
Yeah. So it's going to be, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that would be something different.
I think it like also kind of reminds me of the O.J. Simpson trial, because you're talking about like Alan Jackson coming in and wanting to be a voice for this person, but like it's very clear he did it. What about like Robert Kardashian Sr. and all those famous attorneys that like defended OJ when it was very clearly
that he
did
allegedly
it,
did
even
it.
though he like did get off.
Right.
If the glove don't fit, then you must acquit. But like, it makes me wonder, like, why did they help him? You know what I mean? Like, was it to get the names in their names in the headlines? Was it to be a part of history? I don't know.
All of the above. Friends, all of the above.
I mean, the Constitution allows us, criminal defense. I mean, they still under the rights.
I thought for sure he was going to get like the first available defense attorney next on the docket, just because I didn't think he would have any money or any resources to even, like, I don't think the family attorney is going to help him hire the best defense attorney.
No,
right.
So I thought it was very interesting that like when it came out that Alan Jackson was doing it, I'm like, okay, wow, this is going to be even bigger than what I thought it was going to be.
Will be in the courtroom, you think?
They haven't decided yet.
What is the deciding factor if cameras are or are
The
not?
judge. I asked my...
That's true. The judge gets to say, 'cause it's their courtroom.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
But now that I'm really thinking about it too, because this whole Alan Jackson thing has really got me like thinking, and I'm like, maybe he did insert himself a bit, like, I will take this case on, like, let him know, don't talk to anybody, I'm coming.
Right.
Like, they can kind of do that a little
probably
bit.
how it went. I don't
feel
think
like that makes the most sense.
Didn't they find the son around USC?
Yes, he was. Well, okay, so
why was he going back to USC? Is it the film school or something?
Wait, are you a Trojan?
I'm a Trojan.
Okay, I'm a Bruin.
Are you a Trojan?
Way to just take the air out of the room.
Sorry.
I was like, then you're going to get what
Rob Reiner was a Bruin, though.
Okay, well,
he was.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe that's why he went to SC. And I'm going back to what you guys said before we started of like all the stuff that you learned that you shouldn't laugh. Okay, wait, I have to say this because I never thought I'd be so obsessed with laundry, but laundry sauce has fully changed my life. Like, this is my 2026 glow up, and it's not even a perfume, it's my laundry.
Wait, but actually, same. I used to dread laundry and like figuring out what laundry detergent I want to use. Now I'm like, wait, why do my clothes smell so good? People keep asking me what I'm wearing, and I just don't know how to say it, but my detergent.
And not only that, but it's pre-measured pods, so no mess, no gross detergent caps, and the scents are unreal. Currently, I'm obsessed with Himalayan cashmere. It's cozy, clean, and not overpowering.
Okay, I love Italian bergamot. It's bright, fresh, expensive hotel vibes, which that is always what I'm after, and the scent actually lasts all day.
If you want to upgrade your entire routine, Laundry Sauce also has scent boosters, dryer sheets. The whole thing feels very main character energy with your whole life put together.
Okay, so for you guys, for a limited time, our listeners get 20% off your entire order when you write code Camp Chaos at laundrysauce.com. That's laundrysauce.com, code Camp Chaos.
And make sure after you check out, when they ask where you heard about them, write Camp Chaos. It helps us out, and trust us, your laundry will never smell this good.
One more time, get off your phones, go to Safari, 20% off at laundrysauce.com when you write code Camp Chaos. Go do it. You'll never go back.
On podcast or true crime, I will tell you, like, all I do is crack jokes and like find like a wit and humor in something. So I'm like really trying.
She's like, this case is making me so uncomfortable. And
It's making me very. I'm like, do you see me
You're not
physically?
laughing at the expense of the the victims or like what happened. It was more like a personal, like, oh my God.
Yes,
we're giggling.
Trojan and brewing.
Well, and thank you for bringing that up, because also on the whole other side of it is humor is a coping mechanism. And if we're going to live in a society where this happens more than once a day, like in this country, there's like even more than one mass shooting a day, which is categorized as like, I think 2 or 3 or more people a day, or that are shot in that particular situation. That's a mass shooting. We have more than one a day in this country. So we got to find and insert a little bit of humor, because it is important to talk about, but it can be difficult. And we've had to, we've had times where we're like, oof, like we are buried in this case and it's killing me. It's heavy.
It's terrible. Yeah.
It's so important. And then we work with these families, and they barely want to do it. They want to do it for their loved one, but like they barely want to have to be in the situation or talk about it.
Full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to advocate for your loved one.
Right.
You know, they have to really do things that they never thought they would have to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're like, thank you for covering it. Yes, you may. I can't come on. Like we've literally had a dad tell us that, but yes, full permission. I don't want to be a part. But then sometimes you'll have, and a lot of times it's a sister of a case. And they'll be like, yes, I'm going to come on and I'm going to talk about my sister. And we're going to like, yes, I'll come on for like an interview, and we'll use like, you know, their audio and their firsthand information that they're giving us about the case and everything. So humor can be important to lighten a mood. And sometimes the last sister I worked with, she had plenty of humor that she could insert to make herself comfortable and just, you know.
Well, I think that's part of it too.
There's like a reason gallows humor is big with even like first responders. My husband and a lot of my family are first responders. And it's like when you have seen the most horrific things day in and day out, it's how do you survive?
Right.
Like mentally, you have to be able to not joke about, you know, someone in particular, but just like laugh at the absurdity of what is happening in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Back to USC. Why was he there?
Okay. Well, when she said, I thought you were going to say you were a Trojan, so you would understand what I'm saying. But
I know a little bit about
you know a little bit about it. Okay. Yeah. So that is another one of my theories, that he was possibly back into substances, because when, you know, of course, like he was found near USC campus and they're showing like our big plaque of, you know, where you enter into USC campus. Well, when it showed where he was found on the gas station off Vermont and like 39th Street. That is like dicey. No USC student would even be on Vermont. No USC student would look in that direction.
He's just in the ghetto.
That is a very drug heavy infested area.
It's not safe. Like
it is so scary
USC
to be over there.
Is not in the same area as UCLA, and it is a little more dicey.
That's the only thing they have ever.
Generally around the campus is pretty safe though.
It's a very hilly campus though. You wouldn't want to.
Can't ride our bikes as easily as we can around our flat campus. But that's what made me think like, okay, you wouldn't go to that part of town if he lived in where did he live, Brentwood or West Side?
I think
he was somewhere on the West Side. Yeah, you wouldn't come to 39th and Vermont. Like you weren't going to USC or to a student or somewhere. No, you were going to.
But it also makes it sound better where he was found, right? Like that's interesting for the journalist
for
to
headlines.
Make that choice.
Yeah, of course. Instead of saying South Central, which is where he was. Yep, our campus is not.
Well, and were they doing favors to him because of who his parents were? Or were they doing favors to, like you said, grab a headline? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. So there's like a lot of.
And then one person says, and the rest of them just pick it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of nuance there.
Okay. As we wrap up this case, do we actually think this is going to trial?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it has to. And a lot of judges, I feel like more recently are like, I don't care who you are.
Right.
We're going to trial. We're doing this, and we're going to have order in this courtroom.
Well, right. And like, I think they deserve their justice. Yeah. I mean, they will never get like.
I just didn't know if Alan would ever convince him to take some sort of
a plea
deal. To not have to go through the trial process, plead insanity, and move on. Like I put my name on this history book for Alan. Like,
and then
I don't know
get out of this,
go through hours of trying to, prep for a trial.
I wonder how the siblings feel about it, because it must.
Do they want to hear?
Do they want to hear it? Do they want to? They're going to be shown crime scene photos. They're going to be
relive
exposed.
all of this.
You open
the public
up
is
everything. Right. If you even start to get litigious on anything and you bring it to court, like even if you just sue somebody, I mean, get ready because
it's coming out. For years.
Right. And that's a big deal. You open up everything, and discovery is very painful. Like we've even had families tell us, or people tell us that actually survivors for sure that tell us like, let me just get through discovery. But yes, I want to come on, but like let me just get through discovery here because it's just so all encompassing and such a big deal. And
it can be re-triggering for a
yeah.
lot of
Oh, yeah.
It was just something that we learned in that particular situation as well. This is a survivor, but I actually know them personally as well. And we were going to have them on, and they were like, yes, their case was featured in Cosmopolitan. And they were really she and this other woman were coming out about this case. And it was just very interesting to be like, oh, getting through discovery, or like if a case is currently on trial, oftentimes a family is not in a place where they want to come on. So there's just like, there's so much you don't think about. You would think that'd be obvious, but it just kind of isn't or wasn't to people, to journalists, to any of the media.
Even like anniversary dates. So say it's coming up on a year of when something happened. It can be especially difficult for, the individuals involved that are surviving it.
Birthdays.
Yeah. So it's a lot of, it's a very complex situation for a lot of these survivors and their family members.
And this is what Romy and Jake are going to kind of be, I'll use the phrase like up against, because they're going to kind of be looked at as like a little bit of the face of the case of like what's going on, like a touch point to what's the update, how are they doing? Like
if they
eyes are on them.
Though, if they want to be, because I know that, as we've said, like Rob and Michelle were very beloved and they had a lot of people that were there for them. Maybe a family friend or a family member will step in so that
they
don't have to.
Yeah.
I know that Romy and the other son, is it Jake? Did release 2 statements. They released a joint one on the 17th, so like a couple days after the murders happened, just letting everyone know that obviously they would like their privacy, but they loved their parents. They were their best friends. I think they used that phrase.
They did.
And then a couple days later, just the brother, Jake, said, we will be having like private services, but we'll have a public ceremony at a later date
so there will be like a memorial. Or
is he stepping in as like the spokesperson for the family? I don't know, but
we'll have to see. It's a lot. I think Romy's
imagine having that and going through your grief.
Oh, I know. And I think Romy's only like 28. So I mean, she's still pretty young, especially to lose both of your parents
in this way.
Well, to find them too.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I know he has like the upcoming court dates where I think then we will know who the actual judge is assigned to his case, and maybe we'll know more, like if it's going to trial, because he hasn't even entered a plea, obviously.
Yeah. You bring up such a great point of like, we don't even have a plea. We just kind of so much. What am I trying to say here? Editor, cut this.
There's a lot of details to this case already without having anything but literally not seen him behind a panel.
We are so sure that he did it. I guess is what I was kind of, trying to say.
I believe Romy even told the police, like, I think you should look at my brother. And so it was not, I don't want to say a surprise, like you never think your sibling that is having issues is going to kill your parents.
Right.
But like, I think for her to say, I definitely think this is the direction you should look, says a lot about what everyone was feeling.
Right.
At that stage.
Yeah. And then if I get into my lawyer brain, then I'm like, oh God, this poor girl, if they do go to trial, is likely going to be called to the stand. Like, how is that? This is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could just have you guys back on once we find out.
We'll just do a series.
Going to trial, and we could keep up with it.
Look at us quickly become a
true crime
podcast. Whoops. We started this by saying we're not one, and then now here we are wrapping up.
No, but it is a very pop culture heavy case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Rob and Michelle, what happened to them is horrific, but they were very much in the pop culture zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of true crime, like Taylor and I will take turns.
As I just spoke, like I was a true crime professional.
We will take turns of like getting into a case and then like updating each other. So because you guys are true crime, like we want to know like some rapid fire, like just quick takes on certain cases, whether they've been in the media or whether they're unsolved. We just want your opinions because we know you have them. Okay, so we're going to start going way back to when we were children. John Benet Ramsey. Do you believe John Benet was killed by someone inside the home or an outside intruder, and why?
That is the burning freaking question. Like this is
What's your opinion?
This
though?
is my case that eats me alive. Like I need you to know that. And I think that that's really common for a lot of millennials because she is so similar to our age. I mean, she was a true blue middle millennial. I think she was born in 1990. So she was 6 years old when she passed. And I used to think that something happened in the home. I did. I mean, we got the note, the writing on the note matched. Didn't it match Patsy's?
Yes.
I mean, RIP, she passed from cancer many, many years ago.
Like a very unusual note. If you guys remember, it was written on like a legal pad in multiple pages.
The wording was weird.
And like what person is leaving a note that is like, they're going to sit down and write after they just have done something really horrific. They're going to flee the scene. They're not going to write 6 pages or however long it was.
To me, her father seems bereft still. Like he is beside himself still. Like I don't know that he had anything to do with it. I mean, a lot of people, because she can't speak because she passed, I think almost 20 years ago now, they think Patsy had something to do with it. But it's like, I don't know. And the pageant world's it can be, sorry for any listeners, but like it can be a little dicey. There's room for creeps and weird things kind of happen. Like when you're dressing up little girls to look super cute and pretty and makeup. And I mean, I get it.
She even bleached her daughter's hair. She was 6 years old. She was like a natural brunette. And
I think like shaved legs and all the things.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot that goes on in the pageant world in terms of like being pageant ready. And it's only gotten increasingly, I mean, we've all seen toddlers and tiaras, right? And so I just don't know what that could have opened up in terms of like, was there blackmail going on? Like, was John Bonet?
So now you're leaning more
abused?
towards you think it was an outside intruder. It wasn't someone.
I don't think it was the family. I think
it can't be ruled out.
Okay.
The DNA that was on her underwear, I believe, ended up being somebody, perhaps they kind of ruled it to like, perhaps this is somebody at the actual factory that like made the underwear. But it's like,
did they not wash it?
Yeah, please wash your underwear before. But like, yeah, so there's so many questions that like haven't been answered. And all of these years later, because that was 1996. So now we're talking 30 years. This Christmas will be 30 years.
Wild.
And so, yeah, as you can tell, it's just one of those cases that I don't know if we're ever going to know what happened in our lifetimes. We may never
think if
know.
that was like in today's world, like how different would it be with like the media coverage, social media coverage?
Yeah. It would be so different. You can't get away with much today. Like I have chills thinking about it because like, there are so many cases. There are 280,000 cold cases. That's not missing people. That's murdered, unsolved.
How many?
280,000. Yeah, we've been doing this for 6 years. We haven't scratched the surface. We've done like a 10th.
You'll never run out of content.
Yeah, never. Wow. And that's what's really sad. We don't say that in a way where we're like, we'll never run out of content. Yeah. It's crazy. And that's just in this country, by the way. That's not like outside. That is a US specific situation where we have 280,000 cold cases. There's a lot of people trying to work on them, but we've got to get to a point where we can really start cracking down on them. And luckily, it is kind of weird sending your DNA off. I've done it though to like Ancestry or whatever, but they're solving cases with that.
To send your DNA off. Did you see like they're having this with the 23andMe? They're now, I think they're going to be in litigation because the company went under. And so now someone else has in their possession
all your data.
Your data. So
I'm totally screwed. There's like 5 different sites that have my DNA because I was like, I have this, upload your raw DNA. Boop. Like I'm an idiot, but I'm like, I'm not going to murder anybody. So whatever. Right. Maybe if I have some distant cousin that did, maybe I can help them find them.
Even like being found for like to be a murderer, but a lot of people are saying that one reason not to upload your DNA is because perhaps like insurance companies.
Yes.
Insurance companies will say, oh, well, it looks like according to your DNA that you have a pre-existing condition. We will not cover you.
Which is illegal right now, but they want to make it that it's not illegal anymore. It's been illegal since 2014 with ACA to not do that, but people are wondering because certain people...
Just a little data leak and then whoops.
I mean... Right. Yeah. And like, oh, you have a predisposition for this, which is perhaps even a loophole because it's not a pre-existing condition, but it's a disposition, which is not, I don't think, written in ACA. that law is way too long. I have not read every word of that law, but I wonder if that could potentially be a loophole. So it is a little scary, especially when you have conditions that are, chronic conditions.
Yeah.
Do not submit the DNA.
Wait a minute.
It reminds me of, do you guys remember that Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report?
Oh.
It's like,
I don't think I saw it, but I know of it.
it's so, I can't, it's not really like a genre that I would normally watch, but I must have seen it with like my brothers.
Is that with the girl in the water?
Well,
Is that Minority Report?
it's basically like they can tell based on like whatever your DNA or something that you're going to eventually do a crime, and so you go to prison preemptively.
Oh.
That's
I'm sure that will be helpful. I'm sure that will be coming down the pike soon.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it gets a little.
Yeah, we're probably just on the brink of that, to be honest with you.
But it's so sad too, though, because there's so much you can learn from your DNA and keep yourself safe. Like, hey, you have these markers for women, especially when we're talking BRCA gene, we're talking autoimmune markers.
Yeah.
And all the things like that where you can better take care of yourself. You can adjust your diet to things that will help support certain things and maybe hopefully avoid certain cancers or certain autoimmune conditions or whatever. But if we're scared that, we can't get insurance, that's just wild.
I can't do that. I will be keeping my DNA to myself.
Yeah. You know what? If you haven't yet, don't do it.
But I would like to, do you guys have a position on
the John Bonet case?
I think somebody in the house.
Okay.
I was originally for sure like, it has to be somebody in this home. Like there was just so much that didn't
like an accident
make sense.
That's my pineapple.
Reaction.
Do you guys remember hearing about like the pineapple? Like she might have choked on it.
Oh,
or
the
something?
pineapple people.
It was an accident.
Yeah. And
Well,
then it wasn't
They covered up.
They don't know why it was
window
in her
or the
stomach.
door or whatever. What was that situation? Because I thought something with
So the
that
window-
made
it was like broken
Broken
or
from the
something.
inside.
yeah, like that made me think. I don't know.
I don't
think
know
now-
enough, but I feel like from what I do know, I would.
Someone.
Do you think it would have been like an accident and then they're trying to like cover it up for some reason?
No, I don't think it would have been an accident. Or I don't know. I just think as a mom now, if like something accidentally happened, I'd be like, hello, I wouldn't be, writing a letter.
Unless it was like the son that did it and then you're protecting your son.
And that was like a very
that's
big,
the pineapple theory altogether, basically, right?
Is that the brother.
They're protecting Burke.
Yes.
And
he's even come out and done like a lie detector test as an adult, I believe.
Right. Because
not that those are like very
or they can't be used in court. They are a bit of a pseudoscience, but they can indicate things like
nervousness.
They do what they're supposed to do. You just aren't allowed to use them. That's the thing with that. They do what they're supposed to do. They do indicate deception, as they say, but it's not admissible to court. So because it is still just not strong enough, like the science behind it isn't strong enough to prove without a shadow of a doubt to a jury or whatever.
Right. Okay, I have another one.
Okay.
Casey Anthony.
Oh my gosh.
Do you personally believe Casey Anthony is guilty
100%.
despite the jury's verdict?
100%. It's not a question.
That one made me sick to my stomach.
It makes you
still
sick.
does.
That little girl in that trunk.
Her parents. No.
The parents seemed really, really upset. And I think that
they seem mad at her too.
Yeah. I don't know that mom, I think she wants her grandbaby. I don't know that they protected Casey. Are they even in contact? I don't know if they have contact.
I don't think currently, but she's also like all over social media. Have you guys seen that?
Casey Anthony is?
Yes. And she's dating somebody who like, I don't know if he has a child or something, but like she's out and about living her life. Oh, and it's just so bizarre.
I posted when she did that interview in, what was it, 2020, 2021, whenever it was. It always feels like closer than it really was, but she was finally breaking her silence. So I posted that, because we've got our platform and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, what is she going to say? And people were like, ew, do not watch. We're not watching. Don't give her the time of day. Like, we can't believe you guys would even want to like watch that. And I'm like, oh, dang, people are mad.
Well, I saw that. I think she's like a PI now.
Oh, she's doing something really weird. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, sorry, Casey, if you're
like, girl, like investigate yourself. Like, what's happening here?
What has happened? Okay, Amanda Knox. Do you think Amanda actually committed murder or was she a victim of media-driven wannabes? Like,
innocent. Completely.
Innocent.
Yeah, we actually had her on our podcast.
Yes.
Oh, you did?
And girl
so
was
sweet.
Twice exonerated on what she said to me. Hi, Amanda.
Yeah.
We loved working with you. She
love you.
was so cool to work with and just one of the most interesting people you ever talked to. And I brought that up like, well, yeah, like you were not just once, but twice exonerated. I said that on the podcast. She goes, but what people don't realize is I had to be twice accused. So not only was she accused, exonerated, she was accused again and exonerated again. And the court of public opinion had a really hard time letting it go. But that's because the people who did do it, nobody was interested in them, right? They turned her into what they termed like Foxy Noxy.
Mhm.
And this was a childhood nickname that she had from soccer.
They sexualized it.
Yeah. And then they sexualized it because they caught on to that. And what also didn't help is that the prosecutor of the case is also the investigator. So prosecutors
data against her. And
there's a whole investigation is based
Well, if
off
you
the
watched
case the
the series, which I'm sure you guys both have,
Oh, yeah.
it was so upsetting.
Oh,
well, she was an executive producer on that show.
Yeah.
yeah. And Monica
The new one?
Lewinsky.
Yeah.
I haven't
Hulu.
seen
I haven't
it.
watched the new one
should
yet.
watch it.
I need
It's
to watch
very
it.
disturbing.
Really,
Well done.
really interesting. And
It's
I think,
disturbing and it's scary that
yes.
you could be put in that situation.
Yeah.
I
well, and that's
remember-
a lot in part of because of Italy's court system.
Right. I remember watching her verdict senior in college. Like I remember the classroom that I was in, supposed to be
Yes.
listening to my lecture.
It was such a
And
big
I had my
deal.
headphones on watching like what the verdict was going to
Yes.
be, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
But the media, I think, made me initially feel like, I guess she did it. Like who else would just randomly
Agreed.
come and
Well,
cold blood
agreed.
murder?
That's the strength of like
The media.
though. Like they
Yeah.
can completely twist all the details to, go the way that they want it to.
The
Right.
guy she was seeing did her dirty.
Yes, for
So-
sure.
Him not saying that she was with him, like he like took it back, even though
Yeah.
she was, and then he tried to take that back and be like, no, like she really was. I was scared. I think he tried to take that back.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but that was just it. Like no changes were treated as like admissible, basically. Like
Right.
if when she tried to change, like, no, like you guys freaked me out. And so I just said that, like, sure, like maybe. And there are mind games that they did play and that you can play to make somebody feel and think something. And they took her freaking out, which I think were a little neurospicy. And they took her reacting strangely as guilt. And she says something to similar that they took her reaction as a confession, and that was not it at all. She's handling knives and she's freaked out. She's 20 years old and her roommate was just murdered, and
she had to return to the space for the first time.
Yeah,
and she's touching all the kitchen knives that were probably the murder weapon.
Right.
And
Ooh, first you're going to shake.
Yes.
Yeah, well, can you imagine? This was her friend.
Oh, and they're pestering her.
She broke down, and they were like, "Okay, well, that is evidence."
Guilty.
And
That's crazy.
yeah.
Right. But so she, I mean, again, twice exonerated, I think really speaks a lot, given everything she was up against, to be twice
Well, and
exonerated.
then you look at like how much of her life was spent going through this, and
a lot of it. Yeah. She'll never get it back.
Like that's a horrible.
Horrible.
Well, and it was like very clear that the person who actually did kill the roommate, like he was also imprisoned because
Mhm.
they found him guilty. They found his.
They just
Like-
wanted it to be her so
Well,
bad.
they
So
like
badly.
twisted the story to make it look like she was the
Part of the crime, yeah, like
the
sex-
mastermind
yeah.
behind it, when this man clearly did it.
Yeah,
Right.
And now I'm like spacing on his name, but what she told us was like, isn't it interesting that people remember my name
and not the guy
and not his, that
yeah.
the person that actually did
Because
it.
that's all we heard.
Literally, I
was
can't
Amanda
even
Knox,
think of it
Amanda
right
Knox,
now. But like,
Amanda
I could probably come up with it if I took enough
It might be
time.
because like cameras are on or something, but yeah, you know what I mean? I can't like,
Well, and it's been a moment
edit.
since we've talked to her and watched the show, but it's like it took watching the show and speaking to her to even remember.
Okay,
that
I'm going to
name.
watch that show. Okay, we
Yes,
have two
please
more.
do.
Scott Peterson.
Guilty, 100%. Yeah, like it's so not even in question.
I actually want to bring up a little fact about this case, sort of. One of the highest, hold on, let me gather my thoughts. This is like postpartum brain. I always get it. But basically, the thing that kills pregnant women the most is your partner. Like that,
The
Oh,
leading
it's
cause
like
of-
the number.
Thank you. Yes. let's
Isn't
piece
it like the
together.
number one
gotcha.
killer of pregnant people? I think is their
Is-
partner. It's not
yes.
wild in this country.
Yes, it's domestic violence.
I can't.
And one of the most dangerous times in a woman's life is while she's pregnant.
Yeah,
That is so
It's-
disturbing.
it's foul.
disturbing.
We need help.
And it's eye-opening.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
that's like another
God.
one
It-
that was
like in order to even, pregnancy is pretty intense.
It's
on
life
its
risking
own.
in its own.
It's
Yeah.
like giving birth is, you straddle the life and death. And then you also could have someone living in your home that you trust the most do this to you. So it's like the entire time you're battling
You're growing their child, and they're going to throw you in a river with him. That's unbelievable.
And get away with it.
Yeah.
Okay, your last one.
Okay, Jodi Arias, do you think...
I thought you were going to do Karen Reed.
No, we already talked about her. Do you think that the case became more about Jodi as a character versus the actual crime?
Oh, I think she played a character too. Yeah. You know, we did cover that case many moons ago.
Yeah.
And it's just very interesting. But I mean, there's pictures, and she became, it's like an Amanda Knox thing where she became this focal point of it. You bring up such a great point about that. Like she really did.
She crawled through his dog door to get in his house. I don't know if it was the night she murdered him, but like she had gone back to his house after he's like, please don't come back.
Have you never crawled through a dog door?
I mean, I'm like, how do women fit through dog doors?
Yeah, you can.
There's no way I could.
But like, it just shows
Kendra,
like
you could
Kendra could.
You're I've done that before.
I never have.
We have got to try it.
Who's got a dog door?
I know. I don't know who has a dog door.
Like,
anymore,
I don't allow those in my house.
Let us know. Kendra and I will try.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go through my stories now.
Are you the friend that had to go through the dog door to then unlock the doors?
I've gone through dog doors. Anyway.
But like you did it for like, you know, to get inside.
Yeah, not for the
telling me what I did it for.
Okay.
I'm just teasing. See, this is the thing where I like make people laugh, and it's like we shouldn't be laughing about this.
No, it's okay when
Stop
you know, and having an interjection of
put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, or is that when you're crying? Okay.
Okay, Jodi. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, we're wrapping up on Jodi. Okay, but actually, Karen Reed, I'm actually curious now that you've said it. Like, I cannot not talk about Karen Reed. What?
I don't know.
You think she's guilty?
That's not a case we paid a ton of attention to.
Ooh.
I'll be honest. It's hard for me since we've been doing our podcast to consume true crime outside of the cases we cover. And I know that sounds strange, but
you're not like actively looking at what's coming up and then covering that one. You're going back in like the archives.
Every once in a while,
though. A lot of times families will reach out to us and we'll say like, okay, we'll lend you our platform that we've built so that you can have coverage for it. But like, it is very different from when we started the podcast. Cause when we started, we were
consumers.
True crime all the time. And it gets to be
dark,
heavy. And I don't want to be at home thinking, is someone going to break in? I don't want to be like watching the worst time in someone's life after I've just spoken to someone that has experienced that. You know what I mean? Like I have such a different take on it nowadays. And it's not that like, I'm not.
You have to
better.
No, I think you have to guard yourself.
I do. And so like
there's a lot of this.
I haven't been able to really find out too much information about that.
Well, we were just saying, like, she took on the Diddy case, I took on Karen Reed because it was like, that was all I could handle. Like, I was like, I can't touch that with a 10 foot pole. So I can't imagine like having to talk about it daily on the podcast and then like have to also consume others. It's
we're also just always researching the next case that we're recording. And so that can take up space too of the true crime that is being consumed and accessed. And
well, it's like
we just don't have as much brain space for what's going actually on in real time.
If we're working, like I worked on one episode, a single episode, like an hour long episode for a year with the mom. This mom, her son passed away, was murdered 30 years ago. And she's in 1994. She's been trying to get people to listen to her. And I was in contact with her. I interviewed her. We had phone calls. She called me like on my brother's birthday. Like I'm waiting to go to my brother's birthday dinner, but I like was 40 minutes late because we're talking. We exchanged emails. So we also wrote the script. We sent it back to her. We had corrections. And it's like, it's not just like we record the episode and it's done. It's like we're living and working with these people and it can be a lot. And I can't imagine if it feels like that for me, how does it feel like for them?
Person, right. Yeah. Well, please tell everybody where they can find your podcast and listen to more of what you guys are doing.
You want to go?
At the Murder Diaries Pod on Instagram, YouTube. All the things.
TikTok. We also started a pop culture segment. So on Mondays, we will do deep dives of like celebrities and
lightheartedness.
As you can tell, we need it. It's still fun. And then Thursdays are our ethical true crime case coverages.
And Tuesdays, we cover documentaries.
Yeah,
so
oh my gosh,
you might need to join us on the documentary.
Why you said they just watched the Brandy Melville, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which
I'm excited
is on my
about that.
list.
Yeah.
Like I need to watch it.
It's very interesting. And then we also did Quiet on Set.
Quiet on Set.
That one's going to be coming out very soon on Tuesday.
Okay.
So that was wild too, because that's all about like Nickelodeon. That's like our age group.
That we grew up consuming.
Yeah,
yes.
that intersection of pop culture and true crime.
Yes. So we watch documentaries, and then at the end of those episodes, we tell everybody what the next like docu series or documentary will be.
Conversational, like with our followers. Like let's have a discourse on it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we can discuss after about
we love
Reiner case.
I was going to say we love a
something
Camp Chaos and Murder Diaries. This was a good combination.
I loved it.
Who knew?
Yes.
Who would have thought we are into true crime after all? Thank you guys so much. This was
Thank you for
fun.
having us. We love the studio. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.